Today we're going to be tying a girdle bug. An old roommate used to call them the Uncle Wigglies, an old school pattern. We'll begin by wrapping on our thread. Heavy black thread is preferred. Wrapping all the way down to at least the barb of the hook. This is a curved hook that we're tying these on. If you do a straight shank, just go down to the bend. We'll start with squirrel tail. You could also just use rubber legs for the back if you wanted to. I've stacked a handful of squirrel tail into the hair stacker. We want this to be somewhere between 3/4 and the length of the shank for the tail. We'll set that on top of the shank of the hook and secure that. And then I'm going to wrap forward over the top of that a little ways up, maybe 3/4, a little bit more shank, and then trim off your excess. That way that body stays nice and even. Squirrel's not going to compress, it's going to stay its shape, so keep a nice consistent underbody. Black chenille in this case, but you can use a variety of colors. And we'll secure that. And then bring your thread up, maybe 1/3 of the way up the shank. And then we'll start to wrap our chenille forward, right up to where that thread is at. And then make one wrap over the top of it, and then just fold the rest of that chenille back. On these patterns, it's always the rubber legs that give people problems. Some people go ahead and some techniques are to put all the rubber legs on to begin with. This is a technique that I've used. I don't like to use rubber legs because they always get in your way. Let me rephrase that. I love to use rubber legs the way they fish, but it's difficult to tie. So my chenille's there. I'm going to go ahead and secure one side, divide that rubber leg in half, secure one side to my side of the shank, wrap up a little ways, and then just fold the rest of that material back and pin it down. And you can see those legs are forced backwards. It makes it a little bit easier to now wrap my chenille forward. I'll wrap up the shank just a little bit with my thread, grab my chenille, and then bring my chenille up to my thread. 2 or 3 wraps, and then secure that down. Same way. And then set a new set of legs in there. Now, I don't think they're considered really legs. This is a streamer pattern. And I think that this movement in the water represents maybe swimming fish, stonefly maybe. We'll wrap up again, a little further up. Grab that chenille, and then we'll do that technique one more time. Secure that. Chenille, fold it back over. Secure the rubber leg on my side. On the other side, pin it back a little bit. Bring your thread to the eye of the hook, and then it's only going to take a wrap or 2 more to finish this fly off. Trim off the excess chenille. And a few wraps to make sure you've got it, and then a whip finish. I used long legs to begin with because it's difficult to get everything just perfect. So the way I even them all up, even them out, is I just bring them up, all the legs up, give them a nice quick trim, just like such, and then they'll all be the same length. And that is a girdle bug.